Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am really glad you're here. Today's date is Friday, November 3rd, 2023. Earlier this week, the holiday known as Halloween occurred, and this is a day that is known for having less than innocent fun. It's a sacrificial holiday for those who celebrate dark deeds. And on that day, Halloween this week, there was a tragedy. I'd like to explore it with you and with the tarot cards a little bit and see what we come up with. I'm speaking of the death by his own hand of a 20-year-old by the name of, hang on, I'm going to go to the share screen here. Diego Medina. I've made a compilation that you can access if you don't want to do a simple search engine search of your own. Here's a couple of articles, both very mainstream, one from CNN and one from MSN.com. In those articles, we learn that this man was 20 years old. He was out of work and had been for a year. He lived in a 2-bedroom apartment with his mother and his older brother. He was, to make his share of the rent, he was selling possessions and used items and even behind on his rent. Yet the day he died, which was Halloween, he was discovered in a women's restroom at an amusement park known as Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park. And there was a message on the bathroom, women's bathroom, where he was found dead that said, "I am not a killer." And he said that he just wanted to see the caves. Now, it was also said that he tended to spend all night playing Call of Duty. When he was found, he was wearing body armor, what appeared to be a ballistic helmet. He had multiple improvised explosive devices, IEDs. Some of them were genuine and some of them were not. Okay, now, when they searched his family's apartment, they found no materials that contributed towards the making of those explosives, further weapons, things like that. The weapons that were found with him were called ghost weapons. They had that can be made from a kit that have no serial numbers, which is, of course, giving Colorado and other states a chance to cry that they need to stop selling ghost weapons. So could have called that one, couldn't we? Okay. Now here's the rabbit trail we're taking in this video. I want to explore if there's an MK Ultra component to this tragedy. This young man spent every night, according to his family, until 6 in the morning when he would log off and I guess go to bed when his brother went to work. I'm just imagining that, okay? He spent all night playing Call of Duty, which gave him a chance to be known, recruited, programmed, what have you, by those agencies that do things like that, that set up false flappy things, that look for potential participants to be groomed for those kind of events. So my understanding is there's at least 2 different kinds of MK Ultra. There's one type that involves simply programming with a trigger word or phrase that can be utilized. Since Mr. Medina didn't seem to do much traveling, he was only 20 years old, I think if there's an MK Ultra component to what's going on with him, it would be of the programming variety. And God bless him, even though he was maybe a bloodthirsty opponent in Call of Duty and got the attention of someone that didn't have his best interests in mind and tried to program him. I love that even though he died by his own hand, he had that written on the bathroom mirror, "I am no killer." So if he was a victim of MK Ultra programming, it was an MK Ultra fail, because at his core, he stayed true to his purpose, to be a good human, to not take others' lives. Now, the other kind of MK Ultra programming and I don't claim to know a lot about it, involves activating a third strand of DNA. And it is my understanding if that is the MK Ultra that has, whether it's been activated or added to someone's DNA, I don't know. But that is the MK Ultra programming that cannot be undone. That makes your options few, if any, to avoid being a triggered weapon. And so it's just point of information. There's more than one type. I think when we have seen that there's replacements in high-ranking officials, especially ones that were known and previously admired, that it may have been that in the course of their travels, their duty, their what have you, they received those DNA alterations or activations that made their programming unbeatable. So the type of programming that can be thwarted, deprogrammed from, involves simply the programming, is my understanding. So I want to ask the cards today, is there any truth to the speculation that this young man was a victim of MK Ultra programming, and should he actually be thought of as a hero? So, plus other insights and information the universe wants us to know. I'm hopeful, but I have no idea what the universe is going to tell us, but I'm hopeful that we find out that he truly was a victim and that his family, his friends, and those that knew and loved him can consider him a hero. 1 second while I move the camera, move the cat, because Aliesk has been helping. And we'll work with the cards and see what they have to tell us. 1 second. Okay, we'd like to know if the person known as Diego Medina, the 20-year-old who committed suicide rather than committing atrocities this week in Colorado, was a victim of some sort of MK Ultra programming, plus other insights and information the universe wants us to know about this young man. It just seems odd that there were no leftover materials of construction at his apartment, that being unable to pay the rent, he still managed to come up with with weapons, explosive devices, body armor, a ballistic helmet. That's a lot of expensive tech, guys. So. Okay, we have the King of Cups, Justice, Ace of Wands. So yes, he was a victim of MK Ultra programming. Knight of Wands, the Emperor, Queen of Swords, Page of Cups. Okay, I'm going to share the insights that these cards have given me, and then we'll look at some of the elements of the cards that made me say that. First of all, as you know, if you've watched me for any length of time, when an ace shows up in a question that has a yes or no element to it, the ace is an automatic hard yes. Okay, and that showed up in the recent past. So he was programmed. They were trying to have him, to weaponize him, to commit a false flappy thing. There's no coincidence that the date chosen was the sacrificial holiday of Halloween. And it is wonderful to know that evil was thwarted on that day, even though it was at the cost of an innocent life. The King of Cups and Justice showed up here. So evil definitely underestimated this young man's strength of character. Absolutely. When push came to shove, he stayed true to his human values and values that his family had instilled in him. Okay. The near future outlook here, the Queen of Swords, a card of justice, the Emperor, a card of the White Hats and the Alliance, and the Page of Cups showing up as a pleasant surprise. I think his family is going to have some comfort in knowing that because of the programming they don't have to worry about the consequences of his actions. His taking his own life was actually an act of courage and bravery and sacrifice. And that's beautiful to see. So I know my channel is small and my outreach is small, but if anybody knows this family and wants to point them towards this video, there's nothing I'm seeing here that would make them have anything but a little bit of comfort and pride in this young man and the sacrifice that he made rather than to be used as a weapon. I'm going to get a couple more cards and we'll see what the universe has to say. Okay, we have the Two of Cups and the Three of Cups. Again, he is being honored and his sacrifice is known. What they tried to get him to agree to do, it was thwarted because of his strength of character and his values. And that's all wonderful and good. I'm also seeing that we humans are starting to understand sometimes the nuances of things like MK Ultra programming, things like that. And knowledge is power, guys. And I'm also seeing that in the future going on, more and more of those programming attempts are going to fail. They are going to fail because we have, as a race and as a plane of existence, we are moving away from the low vibrational frequencies where that type of programming and planning flourished. And that's good to know. And that's credit to our loving creator and the White Hearts and Alliance. So let's do a quick recap. We asked if this young man, Mr. Medina, who died by his own hand on Halloween Day in that Colorado amusement park, was a victim of MK Ultra programming. And we got a very solid and hard yes to that question. Other insights and information that showed up in the course of the read were that his death can be considered more of a sacrifice than the self-harm from other motives. He saw no other way out and did not want to give in to that evil programming that had been put in him. And that was really nice to see. His family can have some comfort knowing that he actually displayed a lot of courage and bravery that other people have not in the past always had the courage to do. And that's to avoid programming and being weaponized. I am also seeing that as our reality is changing, as humanity is growing, as our frequency and vibration that we operate at rises, these kind of evil programming agendas are going to be less and less fail-safe and effective. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We need to continue that process to be all that we can be to move towards our potential and embrace it and explore it, and to have evil lose the stranglehold and toehold they've had on our path and our plane of existence for far too many millennia. That's it for this video. So we have someone that we can consider a hero, and his family can too. May that young man rest in peace, and may his family know that he was actually very, very courageous. Until next time, love, light, and everything bright.